Ah, man, thank you for sharing, Sheena. Sheena says, I woke up with the, I woke up feeling like I need to scold people, trying to transmute that and keep quiet. Shay, we say that with this energy being a bit intense and in your face, and as I was describing as big mama energy, that's the vibration I'm feeling, like big mama with her hands on the hip, like, hey, we here, we are divine beings, we got a job. Or we can look at it as assignments, but either way, get it together, do what you're supposed to be doing, listen to the voice of the creator. And then I looked at the moon because of what Sheena said she was feeling this morning. Woke up feeling like I need to scold people. I looked at the moon and it's in Aries. The moon is in Aries, sister. Might be why you feeling that way. It says, while you are apt to be fearless today, it is good to take care that your courageous intuition does not lead you into reckless behavior. You will act instinctively, and while this is positive, since you won't second guess yourself, this impetus, emotional nature can also work against you if you assert more intensity than the situation might warrant. You win when you balance passionate feelings and a confrontational temperament with inspired action. I was inspired to read that to you, sis, because while you may feel like, let me just keep quiet, there is a reason why you woke up with those feelings. Feelings are messengers. And so we give thanks for tools like time passages that you can go and first thing I do, if I feel something a little different, if I feel a little vibe that's a little different, whether that vibration feels aggressive or sad or angry or whatever the feeling is, if it just feels a little different, doesn't necessarily have to be in balance. It just feels different. First thing I do is I want to see what the moon got going on. What's happening with the moon? Because the moon is our, it really is works hand in hand with our emotions. It works hand in hand with our innermost being. It works hand in hand in our receptivity. So what we're receiving in, the energy we're receiving in, the messages we're receiving in, the emotions we're receiving in, the moon has lots to do with that. And so feelings, when you're dealing with feelings and you don't quite know what is this all about, I would definitely suggest that you pay attention to what's happening with the moon. So I pray that was helpful, Sheena. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. What time is it? 1:11. At 1:11, we say we will go ahead and get started. First, I would like to give thanks for us being able to come together as like minds on this Sunday. Everyone woke up, I assume, with the breath to live, not having to breathe on a machine. You were able to breathe on your own. Your heart is beating, your blood is flowing, your body is strong, your mind is conscious and aware. So we give thanks. We give thanks for our presence. We give thanks for our being. We give thanks for another opportunity to be able to see God, experience God, and even be a reflection of God. So we give thanks for that. We give thanks for this moment and this session. May something said in this session stir up the soul of an individual to be able to release anything that is no longer serving them. And also stir up the soul of individuals in need of some rejuvenation and rekindling and empowering so that they can continue to move forward with clarity and courage on their journey. We give thanks for this time. We give thanks for cosmic awareness. We give thanks for our being. We give thanks for the reality of God. The fact that there's a life force energy flowing through everything, flowing through this earth, flowing through us. And that life force energy represents and reflects abundance, eternity, infinite opportunity, infinite potentiality. And so we give thanks for that. We give thanks for that. And we accept that. We accept it and allow it in our lives. Abundance, expansion, infinite possibility, change, shift, transformation, transmutation where needed, transformation where needed. We accept it and allow it in our lives. Ashe, 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 oh, amen, amen. All right, give thanks. Let's get going. All right, so let us be reminded that these sessions, although meditation sessions can sometimes have their own intentions, on purposes, we may indulge in meditation because we just need to relax. We may indulge in meditation because we need to settle our mind, or whatever it may be. Let us be reminded that in this meditation session that we do every Sunday, we make an effort to expand our consciousness towards divinity, expand our consciousness towards the reality of God. We make an effort to remind ourselves of who we are, what we are as divine beings. And we make an effort to also transform our heart, our soul, our bodies by the renewing of our mind. We know that as we renew our mind, our heart is transformed, our soul is transformed, our perceptions are transformed, our agreements with ourselves are transformed. Everything that needs to be transformed, it happens as we renew our mind with the foundational truth that we are divine beings, infinite beings, powerful beings, right here, individually unique to our own power, but collectively absolutely powerful, and a reflection of the divine nature of the Creator itself. So we give thanks for that. All right. So I want to jump into it. I desire to just have a talk real quick, a chat on a topic. Let me welcome first all those who are new today. I don't see a whole lot of new names, so welcome back to a lot of you all, but those who may be new to the call, I'd love for you to let me know in the chat room, and so we can properly greet you, all the newcomers. Give thanks for everyone who's tuned in, and I just generally give thanks for this meditation session growing like it does, and the impact it is making. I do hear from people, and they do let me know the impact that it's making in their lives, and I give thanks for that, because that is the desire, that is the prayer every time that I come on and we do this session. So I give thanks for that. I was inspired to talk a little bit about sacrifice today, about sacrifice today. Peace, Sherry. Peace. She said this is her second time. Okay, so welcome back. So I think if I would give this chat a topic, it would be letting go and letting God is the greatest sacrifice. Letting go and letting God is the greatest sacrifice. Letting go and letting God is your greatest sacrifice that you can make. And when we sacrifice, when we indulge in making sacrifices in our lives, maybe we say, well, I'm gonna sacrifice carbs for a while just so I can lose some weight. I'm going to sacrifice alcohol just so I can cleanse my blood. I'm going to sacrifice social media so that I can get a break. Whatever it is we say, whenever we sacrifice something, it gives us an opportunity to really see the things that we value in life. It really helps us to be able to also appreciate not only those things that we may have sacrificed, but after we make the sacrifice, generally something is going to shift, something is going to change, and you're going to begin to see what you appreciate in gaining from those things that Spirit has led you to sacrifice. That Spirit has led you to sacrifice in your life. And many times, Spirit leads us to sacrifice things that didn't necessarily have a great place in our lives. Maybe these were things that we were holding value to that was making us forget what our true value is. A lot of times comfort zones come with that. Us holding on to things that don't really have as much value of what we're wanting from that which we're trying to hold on to. For instance, emotional eating. Emotional eating can give you what you desire in the moment, usually comfort. A lot of people emotionally eat when they're anxious or they're bored or they need some level of affection or some type of emotional comfort. And it may give you that, but to the root of what you desire and what you value is comfort. And so versus going into your comfort zone and doing something that may be toxic to you, like overeating, overindulging, doing emotional eating, then our job is to sacrifice that so that we can deal with the fire that comes with it and now begin to align with that is more eternal in giving you that comfort. But we can't necessarily get there if we're always distracted by what brings us comfort in the moment or what can just get us there for the second. And if we look at our lives and these things that spirit end up leading us to sacrifice for a while, what we'll see is that we'll keep going back to it. And if those things are toxic, then they have a negative impact on us. They end up being life robbers than life givers. And so sacrifice, number one, knowing what sacrifice is. There are a few types of sacrifice. And you hear about sacrifices in all holy texts. I think about immediately when I hear sacrifice, I think about the story where the father was told to sacrifice his son. And although some may have said, there's no way, absolutely not, I can't believe it. What divine source would tell somebody to do something like that? You know, no way. You have to be listening to the wrong voice. There is no way at all that the divine, told you to do that. So you need to throw that away. I can imagine the slack he was getting from all of his people if he shared it with anybody. Or I can imagine the slack that ego was giving. This is your son. This is your only son. Like, you gonna sacrifice your son? But when we make sacrifices, it shows us what we truly value. What he truly valued was his relationship with God. And said, if God told me this, then it has to be good for me. If God told me this, is telling me this, if divine guidance, this is what we call God, if my divine guidance, my inner guidance system, the creator that dwells within me is telling me this, then this must be good for me. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it because I trust that, in doing it, I know it's for the best. It's for the good. Doesn't that sound radical? Oh man, it sounds radical. You know how that sounds like you done lost your everlasting mind. This is a cult. This is that But let me tell you, many who are on the line, if not all, have been instructed to make great sacrifices, and you have not. Because your ego, number one, is on top of you. Oh, how there's no way you could start a business right now. It's in the middle of a pandemic, and you need to hold on to this job, this good paying job, honey. You know how many people are getting laid off and okay, I don't know who I'm talking to, but maybe I'm talking to you. I don't know. Spirit done told you to leave that relationship. Well, I don't know. We done been in this relationship for a long time, and and we done invested so much time and energy and money, and I don't know, ego. Girl, don't you leave that alone? That's better than having nothing. Or you need to get up early in the morning. It could be just you need to get sacrificing them late nights and those late mornings. You need to go to bed on time, and you need to get up early in the morning so that you can have time to take care of your physical body, to do some prayer meditation. You need to, I don't know, I ain't really a morning person. I just, I need to stay up late. I'm just a night owl. I'm just, but spirit been telling you that we often ignore the spirit of God talking to us as that little still voice, because we just thinking, we just dismiss it. That spirit talking to you. Oh, okay, I ain't saying, I wasn't trying to call no names. Y'all the one shouting yourself out in the chat room. I wasn't trying to call no names. I don't know no names. I'm just talking. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about me. I was the one. Oh no, I stay up late, you know what I'm saying? And I don't wake up until till spirit wakes me up. When the sun comes up and a certain bird comes to my window, I wake up, no alarm clock or anything like that. I can stay up because I'm a night owl, spirit just kept on me. I'm talking about everybody who I value in my life come talking about, girl, you heard the benefits of waking up early? Then the video comes strolling down. The benefits of pineal gland be popping. Then my best friend, he talking about, I really been getting great benefits. Don't talk about waking up early to me. No more. So finally, everything shifted in my life where I had to get up early. And I said, okay. And it's great if we don't have to have major shifts. We can listen. We can that's going with the flow instead of resisting. Okay. I stayed on that a little while longer so y'all can know I ain't just talking out the side of my neck. I'm just saying sometimes that sacrifice of your son, I'm using just the analogy from the Bible, that sacrifice of your son, you have those sacrifices and it may seem small to you, but they are great in the grand scheme of things. They are great in the grand scheme of things. But you have to make that great sacrifice. What I am saying is your greatest sacrifice is to let go of those things that you're holding on to because you feel the comfort of those things. You feel like these are the things that I know. These are the things that I can control. These are the things that's all ego. All ego. If you feel like you have a fear, ask yourself, if I release control of this, what do I think will happen? That's an activity that you can do, an exercise that you could do. We just came across that exercise in our session, our study group this week. When we was talking about the, which chakra was that? The solar plexus or the sacral chakra, one of them. One of the writing prompts was, if I release control of blank, I fear that blank will happen. Because if you are controlling of life, you just will not let go and let God. You just want to control it, even if it's just, I just want to keep thinking about it. And where that got you? Because you're still thinking about it. I just want to keep fretting about it. I just want to keep worrying about it. I just want to keep, talking about it. I just want to keep, you done started a whole Facebook group about it. It's like, I need you to let it go and let God. And that is sacrificing of self. I read something this morning that said, it was something real profound. It said, by becoming small, these are the few things it said. By becoming small, sacrificing yourself, lowering yourself, you become great. It says, it is through sacrifice that we understand worth. It is through sacrifice that we understand worth. And then hear me now. This is what it says. You can only give as an offering that which is your own, which is self. You can only give as an offering that which is your own, and that is self. How do we give ourselves? I want you to write that question down. How can I sacrifice myself? What can I give sacrifice of myself? What does spirit keep telling me I need to sacrifice of myself? And if you absolutely just don't know, what should I give as this sacrifice? What should I give? Those things that are toxic, negating, life robbers, imbalanced in your life, give it up. Sacrifice those things. You are only holding on to those things because they provide you a level of comfort, validation, confidence, whatever power, whatever it is. In the moment though, I can tell you, if you give it up and allow divinity to work in its place, God to work in his place, the reality of God, the truth of God to work in his place, the whole, the essence of God to work, the reality of God now to work in his place, you won't never have to keep reaching for that again. That comfort will be something that grows roots in your heart, in your soul. And so then you don't have to replace, God with these things that come and go, with these things that can also harm you in so many different ways. I'm going to take a pause for the cause and challenge you right now. Type in the chat room if you dare. Type in the chat room those one thing, or you can type all the mugs. One thing that Spirit keep telling you to sacrifice. It just keep coming to your mind. You see an article on it. You hear thought. You keep getting this thought, or it just keep coming up in conversation, or it just keeps coming up in your consciousness. What is it? What is the thing that Spirit is leading for us to sacrifice? Ashe, I'm about to type mine too. I'm with y'all. Don't laugh at my sacrifice. Oh, Lord help me. Somebody help me. Listen, I'm with you, Sylvia. I put carbs, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Somebody said some relationship, drinking alcohol. I dealt with that earlier this year. I ain't against it, never have been. I'm against abuse of anything, because I think overdosing anything could be bad for you. But Spirit said, no, ma'am, let it go. Let go of the alcohol, let go of the ganja, let go of all of it. And what I realized is Spirit was leading me to do that, to say all these things you're reaching for relief, you can get them naturally. You can get them just by your very being, gratefully. So after letting those things go, I was able to find ways to breathe, to get me that euphoria and that bliss that I felt by having a couple of shots, or a glass or two of wine, or a couple of toots on a spliff, or some ganja tincture. Again, not against it. This is not to indict anybody who indulge in it. I'm just telling you, with Spirit, I had to allow myself to be obedient to Spirit. I had just spent money on some tinctures. So I'm just let it go, because Spirit was on me about it. Somebody said working out daily. So you're sacrificing what? Your sleep, sis, your time. What are you sacrificing to work out daily? Because you got to be clear about your sacrifice. That's one thing I want to make clear today. Be clear about your sacrifices. Be clear about them. Spirit keep telling me to sacrifice certain friendships. Let's do it, sis. Focus on self. Do it, sis. Do it. My comfort zone. Which comfort zone, Sister Keisha? A consistent morning routine. Okay, so Kim, what are you sacrificing in order to get that? Resentment and anger. All right, what are we replacing it with? If we're gonna sacrifice that, underneath that resentment and anger, what do we sacrifice? Are you sacrificing? If I'm sacrificing resentment and anger, I'm sacrificing gratification from negative thoughts about someone. What is it? Clarify it. Let's refine it. Let's get clear. Worry. I'm sacrificing worry. Okay. I'm sacrificing chips and chocolate. Okay. I'm rooting for you, sis. Rooting for you. I'm gonna give you a little secret. Get you some sugar-free gum, honey. And every time them chip craving or that chocolate craving come up, chew on that sugar-free gum. And also maybe think about doing a parasite cleanse, because the parasite cleanse really help. There's also an herb that you can use to help curb those, or balance out those cravings as well. And that's Yennenga. I'll type it in here. And I hope I type it in right. If you type in even remotely close to that, I'm sure it'll pop up. There's an herb. It's really good. It's a supplement that you can take every morning. I take it twice a day. Totally cut the cravings. I know how hard that can be. Let's see what else. The need for validation and approval. Listen. So get ready, sis. That means you got to build up that confidence, build up that courage. So I can tell you for you, Kim P, affirmations is going to be your go-to. Affirmations. Because when you sacrifice that outside validation and that outside approval, then you got to fight that little voice inside that is jeopardizing or putting or decreasing your confidence. So affirmations is going to be your key. Create some affirmations at every area of your life. Create some affirmations. Create an affirmation for your health, for your wealth, for your well-being, for your strength, for your intelligence, for your body, for your whatever it is that you lack confidence in, where you feel like you need that approval from others. Create an affirmation and state it loud and clear to yourself and to others if you have to. Poor diet, lack of discipline, fear of making changes. Affirmation will help too. I'm gonna call you iPhone because that's the only name I see. Lotus, look, heard loud and clear. Him and food. All right. Well, I'm rooting for you, sis. Spend more time with myself. So what are you sacrificing, Destiny, in order to spend time with yourself? God, before I rest and before I leave the house. Okay, so you're sacrificing something that's taking up that time. Is it not the chocolate, please? Trying to show up for everyone but myself and being okay with saying no. I sacrificing staying up late so I can get up. That's it. And be consistent with my morning routine. I got a reminder set on my phone, sis. It buzz every time it's time. 9:30 is set. Go to bed. That's all it say very clearly. Go to bed. And when I see it, I know it's about that time. So that may help. That may help. Binge eating and self suppression. Okay. So what are we putting in the place of that? What are we putting in the place of it? So that's the next thing. Be clear about your sacrifices. Then the second thing, what are we putting in the place of the sacrifices? Because the things that we sacrifice, they usually are placeholders in our life. So what are we now putting in the place of these placeholders that are more life-giving, more affirmative, more powerful? Spirit has been telling me to sacrifice pretty much everything on this list, then some. Okay, well, let's get into it then. I'm rooting for you, Leisha. So if you're sacrificing a whole lot, then okay, now sit down with yourself, come up with your morning routine, come up with your affirmations, come up with the stuff you need to build your strength, to help you out, okay? If you tend to want to keep going to that relationship or want to keep calling that person that you know you need to separate from, what are you going to do in the place of it? So that when you get that feeling, especially if it's something that you're used to doing, you're going to get that feeling just because you say right now, oh, I want to sacrifice it. It doesn't mean that it's not going to come up. So what are you going to do in the place of that? Maybe you're going to journal. Maybe you're going to just act like you're on the phone with them and just talk. Just don't call them, just talk. Maybe you're going to do audio. I used to, when I wanted to tell somebody, vent to somebody, I would get my phone, turn on my audio record and just start talking. Not even halfway through, I'd be like, girl, be quiet. I'll start affirming myself like, okay, girl, no, it ain't even how you saying it. Ain't even how you thinking it. It's not even what you're thinking. It's a whole nother perception and all type of stuff. And so you'd be surprised how that helps. Sacrificing desires of the ego in order to see different future results, period. Sacrificing knee-jerk reactions, I say, to allow myself to feel good at the time. All right, instead of knee-jerk reacting, I'm doing what? Procrastinating on going into business. Okay, let's get it. Today, gym limit is used for diabetes. Okay, give thanks. Replacing it with discipline. Give thanks. Learning and practice so much from Islam on sacrifice. It wasn't easy. I see what you're saying. Learned so much about sacrificing. Yes, giving thanks for the training, though I no longer practice it as I once did. That's okay. It's there for us to learn from it. You know, I don't know. Every time I sacrifice, I feel even more angry because I don't have the safe space I need. So praying for that safe space. So I say just focus on putting your intentions out for the right people, the right groups, the right guidance, the right teachers, the right everything you need in order for you to feel like, in order for you to acquire a safe space, and also in order for you to be able to release. Let me tell you, and we're gonna go into our meditation where we are going to tap into the feeling of letting go and letting God. And you know, another way to say that is letting go and letting it be. Let it go and let it be, because it is what it is. It is what it is. When we're holding on, we are almost like manipulating the energy of it. It still is what it is, regardless. It is what it is. There's no changing that. It is what it is. That's what divine destiny is. Divine timing, nothing is by chance. Nothing is a waste. So it is what it is. But when we introduce anger, resentment, fear, sadness, worry, and all these different type of things, we sprinkle things into that. So when we add anger and resentment into it, what we desire is healing. That's what we naturally desire. What we desire is wholeness. What we desire is wellness. That already is. When we introduce the imbalance feelings, we're doing nothing but throwing detours into the path of that. We're just throwing detours into the path of that. Because it already, just remember, all that you desire is already yours. It already is. The absolute only reason why we are not realizing the desires of our heart is because we have not allowed ourselves to become a vibrational match to it. Another way to say it, we haven't allowed ourselves to align with it. Another way to say it, we haven't allowed ourselves to accept it. Another way to say it, we haven't allowed ourselves to allow it. We just haven't allowed ourselves to do that. Ego can be very deceitful. And ego can be a brutal slave master. I don't know how else to say it. A brutal slave master. It could drive you to being hard-hearted, bitter, wicked. It could drive you to being sick. It can drive you to being a nuisance, a tyrant, a zombie. That's why the greatest sacrifice is sacrificing yourself so that you can rise as your true self. But you first got to sacrifice that lower self, what I call lower self, so we can be clear, because there's a duality there. We have that lower self, which is usually governed by ego, and we have the higher self, which is the one that has let go, lowered their lower self. So every day in the morning, before I even start my meditation and prayer time, I lower my forehead to the ground. I lower myself so that I can be able to hear, so that I can be able to see, so that I can be able to feel. I lower myself. I lower all the feelings, all the emotions, and I rise up clear, open-hearted, open-minded, free. And I don't get up. I don't bring my forehead up until I'm ready to just be empty. Empty. I leave my mind, all the desires, all the anxiety, all the passions, the plans, all of that. I leave it just for that time, so that spirit can lead and guide me, so that spirit can show me the way during that time. We have a fear that if we leave it aside just for a minute, somebody gonna take it. Somebody gonna take advantage of us. We ain't gonna do something. We gonna miss something. No, put it to the side more and more. Give it more time aside. Let it go. Letting God, the greatest sacrifice is ourselves. I wanted to share something of my experience of letting it go and letting God. Last year, 2020, I went through some extreme trials, emotionally, physically. It was just a lot. And one of the trials that I went through was a relationship, an ending of a relationship that ended in a very embarrassing for me, embarrassing, hurtful, confusing way. And I just couldn't let it go. I was angry. I was embarrassed. I was emotional roller coaster at the same time. As many of you all know, my mother was transitioning. So it was just a lot. And so, thanks. The bird just kind of sat right there. I just looked over and the bird was over there. Okay. Look, y'all know what spirit, Lord, don't start. Okay, let me just hold on one second. Spirit-led presence, a being into my presence one Saturday. And I saw him, and some asked me to, some said, ask him about Ifa. And so I was, at that time, I was, really studying into Ifa and these type of things. And I saw his necklace, and I saw his light. So it was just like, I started, oh, what are you? So he ended up being a priest or babalawo. And so I was thinking, oh, he would be great to help me learn Yoruba. But Spirit led me to get a reading, divination. And so I got the divination, and a part of the divination results was you need to walk a lot. You need to walk. The other one was you need to focus on your health. You need to get your health together. So that was just a part of some of the divination. So I began to walk every day, rain, every day I walked, I hiked every day. And I hiked by at a park that had water, and so I would hike all the way up to the end of the path, and I would sit on these rocks that was at the end of the path that showed you the whole view of the water. And many days I just sat there and cried. I was hurt. I was ashamed. It was just a lot. I was just like, this is a lot. And so one day I just cried out. I said, vacuum. This is the prayer that I prayed. I said, I am angry. I feel angry. I feel embarrassed. I feel foolish. Vacuum this anger out of my heart. May this anger be vacuumed out of my heart. May the embarrassment be vacuumed out of my mind and my heart. May all of these imbalanced feelings be vacuumed out. I have no desire to hold on to them. I have no desire to hate anyone. I have all the desire to accept what has been brought into my experience and be open to hear the why. The why was this brought into my experience? And I know that it cannot be heard until the anger and the sadness and the embarrassment dies. And so I prayed it earnestly. I was crying. I was a mess. I know the people who was hiking was like, woo, child, she is into it today. But I didn't care at all. I didn't even see them. I prayed it hard. And then that prayer just stayed on my tongue as I began to walk back to my car. And the lift that came, no words, no downloads. It was just this lift off of my being. And then a couple of days after that, it was put in my conscience to ask why. Please show me why this happened. Why? How did I even attract this experience into my experience? Because I don't ever want to experience it again. So please show me what is it? And I was clearly shown, so within a matter of 3 days, it was totally lifted off of my heart. And I was shown what was the reason why I came to my experience. So grateful. So much wisdom was imparted upon me in that week, just about everything, about everything that happened, everything that's happening, and so it left me stronger. It left me wiser. and grateful for the experience. I now find myself so grateful that I was able to experience those people, those things, those events in my life because of the lessons learned that I'm able to continue to affirm within myself and also share with other people going through the same thing. And one of the biggest lessons that I want to close this testimony with is don't take stuff personally. People and things are a vessel for the lessons that you need on your journey at the right time. I needed this lesson. It opened up so many aha moments for so many things in my life, not just relationships, so many things in my life. It watered the seed of confidence and strength and value and gratitude. It watered so many of those seeds that now have such deep, strong roots. And so it really emphasized the power in being thankful for your journey, being grateful for your journey. I now really genuinely, with all sincerity, feel like when we are not grateful for our journey, it's blasphemous because everything is divinely ordered. And if we're gonna believe in divinity, we gotta believe in it wholeheartedly. We can't say that that wasn't divine order because we didn't like it. Because we can't say that. How it's blasphemous. It's like, don't you plan. So, doing the work to accept it. Now, I'm saying it as a very short testimony in a very large, of course, grand scheme of things testimony, but I'm grateful, I say that you can hear it and anyone else who it resonates with, but it I can just say prayer is powerful. When you're really sincere in your heart and you really speak it, you're not asking for anything when you're praying, you're aligning with it. So as I said that, notice I say, may it be, I'm speaking it into existence. So I'm aligning with that. I'm talking to my lower self. I'm saying, lower self, you're going to have to back up because I need this anger to go. When I say, may it be vacuumed out my heart, I meant it. I saw it. I visualized it. I was saying it fervently. Like it was just, I could feel it, And so let us not forget to pray, Let us not forget to pray. As we make these sacrifices, let us not forget to pray. Prayer is powerful. If you understand what prayer truly is, it is powerful. Prayer is when you're acknowledging that there's a divine source of life that created this world and it resides right there within you. You have access to it at all times. It's acknowledging that, and then it's speaking. It's covering these things that you're speaking with that power. It is putting that power source, plugging it in with those things that you're praying on. And so don't forget your prayers about everything, y'all. About them cars, about that chocolate, about them friendships, about them, the feelings of inadequacy, all of it. Put prayers over it. If I showed y'all my vision board, part of my vision board was wellness. And on the vision board, I wasn't even thinking going raw and all that at that time, but I was putting like veggies and fruit and all these different things on there. I put words like digestive friendly and, healthy gut and all these different type of things. And I just put it out there. This is my desire. And I continuously pray on that. I continuously speak it into existence. Now, this is November, a little bit over a year later, I've gone raw. 80% raw, digestive system corrected, just things put into my experience, inspiration put into my experience to help correct my digestion or supplements that I need, or even the consciousness to start doing a supplement regimen. So I didn't know the how when I said that prayer. I didn't know any of that. I just knew this is all I was worried about right there at that moment was what is it that I desire? Put it out there with no fear, without the necessity to know what's how, the when, the where, the what, and if it's possible, and how many times I failed at and all that. Let all that go. Come empty. Be clear about your desires. Put the prayers out. Keep praying over your life. You don't have to know the when, the how, to where. And I guarantee you, you look up some of the things that you thought you would never be able to accomplish, never be able to do, will be yours. Ashe? Ashe. I'm looking at the time, y'all. I ain't gonna hold you. Ashe. So just to reiterate the point of today's talk, I feel like several was hit, but we give thanks because I feel like it's all in alignment. I feel that very clearly. But to reiterate the point of today, the greatest sacrifice you can ever make is the sacrifice of self. Lower yourself, lower that ego, lower all of that, lower it all, sacrifice it, and let God show up and show out for you. Let God show up and show out. God, that is, let's be very clear, God, that is life force energy. Life force energy. Like, it's infinite. It not only is it infinite, but it's vast. It shows up as mercy. It shows up as grace, as abundance, as vengeance, as healing, as peace. I could go on and on. It shows up as animal totems. It shows up as divine connections between people. It shows up as dreams. It shows up in your intuition. It shows up as red flags. It shows up as gut feelings. That's life force energy. Get to know what life really is. And I'm telling you that we have that life force energy that creates everything. We have it residing in us. So there's never a time where you are trapped. There's never a time where there is an impossibility, period. Get to know that, get to trust that, create a foundation in your very consciousness of that, and then do what Spirit is telling you to do and be obedient with it and continuously sacrifice yourself, lower yourself, lower yourself, lower yourself continuously. The ego don't do nothing but give you instant and temporary gratification. Because every time you let it go in front of you, am I wrong? Eventually, it's going to come back around and bite you. Dang, I wish I would have done that. Dang, I wish I would have said that. Dang, I wish I could have. So the time is now. All right, let's get into our meditation for today. The desire for this meditation is for us to feel the feeling, because that's when you're ready to manifest something. That's when you're ready to realize something, is when you're able to feel it. Our desire for this meditation, when we come out of this meditation, we feel like we have let it go and put it in the hand of our Creator. We are letting it go. Whatever that it is, you can decide. It could just be infinite it's. The infinite it's of it's. I'm letting it go. And I'm putting it in the Creator of divine grace, of God, of our Creator. All right. So as you all know, you don't really have to see me. So find yourself in a comfortable position. You do need to hear me. That's all I require. Settle into a comfortable position. Take a moment. Just a moment or two. We just been fed. We full. So take a moment or two to settle in, like you're getting comfortable on that couch after Thanksgiving dinner. So settle in. Settle in. And then let's go into this powerful meditation that's we're speaking will be channeled for this moment. Ashe, give thanks. Give thanks for sacrifice. Give thanks for the consciousness, the willingness, the desire to make sacrifice. Sacrifice makes sacred. Ashe. Sacrifice clarifies our worth, our values. And we value mostly our divine being. That being that reflects God itself. Ashe. All right, settle in. And just begin to connect with the breath and the body. Begin to slow the breath down and relax. allowing yourself to release all thoughts, putting your mind aside just for the moment, and connect with the breath. So per usual, let's just start with the breath. Deep inhales in through the nose. And exhaling through the mouth slowly and completely. And relax. Breathing at your own pace, but filling the body with the air. And as slow as you can, release that breath, allowing it to softly come through the mouth. A few more of those deep, deep, deep breaths in through the nose. Slow, intentional, soft breaths out the mouth. Feeling the lungs expand as you inhale. And the body contract and release when you exhale. Allow your entire body to go limp. Holding on to no energy in the joints. Releasing the energy. Relaxing those knees, those elbows, those wrists. Dropping the shoulders, relaxing the shoulders. We tend to hold the weight of the world, the weight of our thoughts, even the weight of our dreams and visions on our shoulder. Relax, release, let it go. Relaxing the forehead, dropping the jaw, releasing the weight of all thoughts, whether they're thoughts of fear, joy, excitement, worry, just releasing, just in the moment. Continue to breathe. And relaxing and releasing. Emptying out. Empty out those thoughts. Empty out those weights. Empty out those breaths that you never took, that stored stagnant, toxic energy in the body. Use the breath to clear it out. Expand in the body, allowing the breath to flow through the joints, the blood, the veins, even your cells and DNA. Emptying out all of it. Releasing the past. Releasing the future. Just being right here in the moment. Relaxed. Relieved. renewed. Allow yourself to just be. Be light. Feel weightless. If you're sitting, allow yourself to sink into your seat. If you're laying down, allow yourself to sink into the surface. Weightless. Let it go. As you are relaxed, affirm within yourself, just by accepting quietly in your heart that you are a divine being. No matter what it looks like, no matter how much you don't know, don't understand, affirm to yourself, I accept that I am a divine being. I know this because there's been many instances in my life where things have worked out, things that I thought would not grow or flourish, they did. Wounds have healed, emotional and physical. My heart beats on its own. Blood flows through my veins. My organs know their divine assignments to move things around and shift things out without me having to control it. When I desire to inhale, I do so. When I desire to exhale, I'm able to do so as well. I know that I am a divine being. And there's so many things around me that shows me that. I am grateful to see the reflection of my divinity in plants, in animals, in nature. And those things working out miraculously. I'm so grateful to see the reflection of my divinity. I also accept that there is a life force energy that no matter how many times man try to explain it, try to bottle it up and sell it, it is present. It is infinite. And it shows up in my life as grace in those times that it could have been me, but it shows up as grace. In those times that I could have got what I said I wanted, but it didn't quite work out. And eventually I realized it was for the best. It shows up as healing as the body naturally reaches towards wholeness. It shows up as peace. Sometimes peace that surpasses all understanding. I allow and accept this life force energy that is always present. It is eternal. It is infinite. I also affirm that just as this life force energy rests in the soil and germinates the seeds, it also resides in me. And so any desire, any concern, any vision, any dream, any worry that I have, if I can just plant it in that soil of divine life force energy, that has my best interest always in mind, that can cleanse, purify, or germinate and fertilize the seeds that I give it. I allow and accept and affirm that I let it go. I let it go, and I let God. As I acknowledge what God is, I know, I am sure of it, that as I let go and let God, those things that I desire, those things that I have a vision for, those things that I'm concerned about, I know that it's all being taken care of. As I let it go, as I release it off my heart, off my mind, out of my soul and spirit, and I affirm the goodness of my creation and my creator. I know it's all being worked out. In divine timing, in divine order, exactly how it needs to be worked out for me and my greatest, highest good. I know this to be true. I let it go. I let it go. I submit. I lower myself and I let it go. As I let it go, I speak courage, bravery, a light heart into my life. I speak swift deliverance when anger or resentment, fear, anxiety, and all of those deceitful, toxic vibrations of ego try to rear their little heads. I speak swift deliverance. Swift deliverance. Because I know I'm worthy of my greatest good. I know my birthright is divine grace. And I know I'm merely a vessel to be a reflection of God itself. I am ready to be that. I know it's not my job to figure that out. It's just my job to be an open-minded, open-hearted, flowing, free, liberated, beautiful being that is a vessel to bear that reflection of God itself. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold that breath. Slowly release it. We're going to do that 2 more times. And once you are finished, you may begin to come back to this present moment in gratitude of how light, how worthy, how powerful, how connected, how aligned you feel, how free, how liberated you feel. As you come back to the present moment, hold that vibration. Plan to take it with you. Commit to not allowing anything to knock you off that square, that foundation. Be rooted in freedom and flow. Be rooted in your grace. Be rooted in your birthright. in your divinity. Get comfortable with being rooted in that. Ashe. All right, thanks. All right, so you may, if you're laying down, come back to a sitting position. If you can, I ask that you stay to the end. Stay to the end. Give thanks. Okay. Ooh, give thanks for letting go. Thanks for lightness. Give thanks for reminders. Give thanks for these beautiful reminders of our divinity. Ashe. Ashe. Okay. Well, we give thanks, y'all. Let me close with a word for us to carry with us, something to think about, something to consider as we go about our journey this week. I am reading from White Fire, Spiritual Insights and Teachings of Muji. It reads, don't waste your time watching and reacting to the minds or opinions of others. Your own mind causes more trouble than the minds of everyone put together. Don't waste your time watching and reacting to the minds of others. Your own mind causes more trouble than the minds of everyone put together. Ashe. 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 Don't worry about what other folks think. Don't worry at all, but if you're going to be thinking about anything, think about how you thinking. What am I believing about this? What am I perceiving about this? Carry that. Worry about that. React to that. And let's pray we react by releasing it, correcting it. If you find that there is a belief or perception or thought that is not life-giving, it is not productive, it is not fertilizing your beautiful seeds, then do the work to let it go. Let those perceptions, thoughts, let it go. However you need to do it. We give thanks for the moment. Let me just close with just a quick prayer for us to seal up this moment, this powerful moments that we've had together. We give thanks for the words that was channeled today for us to chew on. We give thanks for that meditation that helped us to lighten our hearts and release toxic energy stored up in the body and release those thoughts and feelings that keep us from our connection with the Creator. We speak that we will have a beautiful, prosperous week, a lighthearted week, a free-flowing, liberated week. And we will experience and reflect God in such beautiful ways this week. We already speak it to be so. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo. Amen. 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 All right, we give thanks. All right. Well, thank you all for joining me today. Love and light to all of y'all. Give thanks for all of you all coming on and being faithful. I've seen you all consistently sometimes, many of you consistently. I ask that you please share this experience with others. And please, you can share the Eventbrite link so that people can register to get the recurring link. Also, I post these on YouTube, so go and use them. I also send them, of course, as a replay from this session, but they're posted on YouTube. So you can go and listen to them over again. You can share them. And you can let people know they can tune in live on Sundays. You all are welcome. All that are expressing your gratitude. It is my pleasure. I give thanks. I give thanks for you all being here and being a part of this that was divinely inspired. Without you all being here, well, I might still be hopping on here without nobody being on here because I was inspired to do it. But because you all are here, you make a beautiful experience. I also want to say, if you join these meditations and you enjoy the vibrations, consider I sounded like Medea just now. Consider the moon meditation group and also the study group. Those are excellent options. Every Wednesday we come together and we talk about something vibrational. We do something that is edifying to our souls and our spirit. I'm also going to be launching a self-development coaching group, and that's coming up very soon. So stay tuned for that. And also an executive coaching group for those people who are in business. The next retreat for members only. Retreats are only for members only. I only host retreats for members these days. It's for the winter solstices. So it's this winter between December 20th and 25th. I'll let you all know. You all are going to get some information about that very soon. So thank you all for joining. Give thanks, give thanks, give thanks. Love and light to all of you all. Have a beautiful, prosperous week. And I hope to see y'all on that full moon and eclipse guided meditation this Friday. I pray I'm able to see y'all this Friday. Okay. Full moon and eclipse. Powerful time. I got the energy report coming soon. So stay tuned. All right. Peace, you all.